Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in today's show, students from the United States are learning that it is better to give than to receive. Indonesia Tzu Chis are visiting an orphanage to shower the children there with love. And in Taiwan, a family house becomes a Tzu Chi retreat center to honor a father's last wish. As the holidays are just around the corner, in the United States, students at the Monrovia Da'ai Kindergarten organized the Christmas celebration in which Santa Claus appeared to educate them on the importance of helping those in greater need. Meanwhile, students of the Tzu Chi community classes in Almonte, Cerritos, Torrance, and Orange County prepare for an upcoming charity sale that will raise funds for Hurricane Sandy's survivors.
To help those suffering on the East Coast, students here are preparing for a charity sale that features handmade soaps, paintings, and other handicrafts.
I can't be like the rescuers and help those on the East Coast, so I thought we can help by holding a charity sale. It is really not much.
The paintings by the students are beautiful. All of them decided to donate their paintings for charity because they have giving hearts and want to help those in greater need. I am truly inspired by them.
Upon hearing that their classmates would be selling their artwork during the charity sale, some decided to make picture frames at home to frame the paintings. Knowing that the money raised can help those suffering on the East Coast, the students worked together, hoping to raise as much money as possible. Meanwhile, at the Monrovia Da'ai Kindergarten, students dress up to celebrate the upcoming holiday. The students all listen carefully to the teacher, while Santa Claus suddenly appears in the window.
Well, I was all over. I went to New York, I was in Tokyo and Paris. I've been to many places.
Oh, so you went to New York?
Yeah.
So what did you see over there? 小朋友，你还记不记得纽约发生什么事情？那边水灾，对不对？哦，还记得吗？
The Santa tells the children what is going on the East Coast after Hurricane Sandy, and their teacher takes the opportunity to ask the children what they can do to help.
To donate.
Oh, 非常好哎。
She came home and said, Mommy, we have to be more loving. We need to look around our house and we need to give to the people that don't have anything. I said, okay, let's go. Through the event, seeds of goodness find their way into these children's hearts, who are now inspired to help those in greater need.
Continuing with the holiday spirit, Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada and the United States are distributing food and aid supplies to needy residents. Volunteers in Canada were busy packing up food drawn from the Richmond Food Bank. Meanwhile, in the United States, as schools have closed for the holidays and stopped providing free lunches to students, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out a food distribution at Danielle Lerone Elementary School in Northern California so those children can spend the holidays with a full stomach.
Ruth's child studies at the Daniel Lerone Elementary School. Thanks to Tzu Chi, her child has received help in his studies in the past, and now she can also pick up food for the holidays provided by Tzu Chi.
Something very grateful because unfortunately there's a couple of families like me that we don't have enough to, sometimes we don't have enough for food. So whatever you guys give us, it helps us a lot.
In each bag there are 12 kinds of food and a card drawn by the students at Tzu Chi San Jose Academy. Meanwhile, in Canada's Richmond, Tzu Chi volunteers not only hand out food from a food bank, but also winter aid supplies.
These out-of-season clothes were donated by a department store, and we give them to the needy during winter aid distributions.
As the food bank also provides door-to-door service for residents of limited mobility, the volunteers get busy packing up the supplies.
This is my first time to join the distribution. During this winter season, I've been touched by the warmth and love between people. It's the greatest happiness I could imagine.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's aid supplies, needy residents will be able to get through the harsh winter without worries.
In Canada, as temperature continues to drop, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out 2 winter aid distributions for the homeless people. In Toronto on December 13th, volunteers prepared hot meals, sleeping bags, gloves, and other supplies to 250 people. Meanwhile, their counterparts in Vancouver distributed 180 packs of relief supplies to the homeless.
Such joyous singing traveled through 4 of the Salvation Army's overnight shelters here in Vancouver. Upon arrival, 31 Tzu Chi volunteers carry out their duties with efficiency, so the homeless people are not kept waiting and there is no delay in the distribution. As each homeless person is trying on winter jackets, with the volunteers' thoughtful assistance, they feel respected.
There's no one in the world that I don't trust.
Taking part in his 4th year of Tzu Chi distributions is Kevin Hawken, the manager of the overnight shelter.
The first year I remember there wasn't as many people singing, and each year it seems like there's more people singing and more people signing, and the amount of people participating is growing every year. And I'm learning how to sign better, so I'm really enjoying that.
Tzu Chi volunteers not only care for the health of the homeless, but also warm their hearts with words of encouragement.
Even though we're here late at night, everyone feels that they are replenished when Tzu Chi is here, that they're happier after they're here. If you look around at any staff or anyone in the room, they're just kind of glowing a little bit, and they're always a lot happier. They have more compassion in their hearts and a bit more hope when they leave at the end of the day.
Meanwhile, here on the East Coast, Toronto Tzu Chi volunteers are busy packing winter relief items because no matter how cold the winter may be, Tzu Chi volunteers always keep their promise to the homeless people. Upon receiving the relief supplies, the homeless people respond to the same love and respect displayed by the volunteers.
People feel anxious because their money is being cut off. They're being cut off from the government. They're not getting the same sort of supports that they used to have. So that's why the Tzu Chi Foundation is so amazing, to come in and provide this kind of care and service for people who so desperately need it, especially during the holidays. It's a difficult time for everyone, and providing that little bit of comfort is so important.
As the festive season is approaching, Tzu Chi volunteers bring warmth and love to the homeless people, hoping they may have a happy holiday this year.
Moving to Indonesia, Tzu Chi's recently visited an orphanage in Jakarta where they designed a series of games and activities for the children that had everyone smiling year to year by the end of the day. Seeing how hard life is for these children, many Tzu Chis felt grateful for their own family.
The 120 orphans living at this orphanage line up to welcome Tzu Chis, who are here to accompany the children for a day of fun-filled activities and competitions.
It is so much fun to be here to play with them and watch them smile, and also to share this spirit of love and blessing with them. It has been a great experience.
Living at this orphanage are children who were abandoned by their parents or had once been living on the street. Although they have found a safe haven in the orphanage, many still carry the scars of their abandonment in their hearts, scars which the Tzu Chis hope to slowly heal.
We hope that by coming here, we can bring joy to the hearts of these children and make them understand that they are not unwanted by society. We want to care and comfort them. I'm happy to be able to come here to play with them. I see how hard it is for these children without parents, and that makes me ever so thankful for my family.
In addition to various games, Tzu Chis also show the children how a little creativity can go a long way with recyclables.
We hope on our next visit, we can not only play with the children, but also have a chance to help them read and teach them art so that they can recover some of their self-confidence and lead better lives as a result.
For these children, the efforts of Tzu Chi's will go a long way in helping them recover their sense of optimism for the future and their place within it.
Traveling to China, in Yiwu, Zhejiang Province, Tzu Chi volunteers brought winter aid supplies to 10-year-old care recipient Zhu Jianjun and helped him remember the warmth and love of his mentally challenged mother. Zhu looks towards his future with a bright smile and hopes to enlist in the military to serve his country.
Carrying aid supplies, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at Zhu Jianjun's house. Knowing that the volunteers are coming, he rushes home. Zhu's parents are both mentally challenged and thus are not capable of looking after him, so he was sent to live with his grandmother. Recently, because his grandmother became sick, he moved back home. However, he now lacks proper care.
像这个刚刚他洗的，马上就变成一个小帅哥了。哦，当军人要做什么？
保护国家。
哎呦，好棒哦！我好爱你哦。
Besides aid supplies, the volunteers also encouraged Zhu to show his affection to his mother.
Seeing how thoughtful and happy her son is, we feel very happy too. The situation this time is totally different from last time.
My parents passed away when I was young. When I was about Jianjun's age, my parents died, so I feel for him. I hope they can live a peaceful and healthy life, and Jianjun can have a promising future.
Gently wiping away his mother's tears, Zhu feels his mother's love once again. Later, he is all smiles and makes his New Year's wish.
We wish Master Zheng Yan good health and a happy New Year.
Moving to South Africa to send love to the United States for Hurricane Sandy survivors, South Africa Tzu Chi volunteers took to the streets to appeal for donations. Both local and Chinese volunteers hit the pavement to canvass for donations. Standing side by side, this combination drew the attention of many passers-by, reaffirming that great love knows no boundaries.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Durban, South Africa are ready to take to the streets to canvass for donations for victims of Hurricane Sandy.
We are Asians in an African country canvassing for donations for the United States.
Among the volunteers helping out are Zulu volunteers and scholarship aid students. With no distinction between race and faith, the volunteers' actions attracted many passers-by, particularly this Indian man. Moved by the volunteers' actions, he immediately notes Tzu Chi's details on his phone.
There's many versions, English, Chinese, other languages as well. Yeah, you just go and select one that you're comfortable with.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great love transcends all boundaries regardless of age. The volunteers invite local residents to write down their blessings for the storm victims.
I'm drawing a big heart.
Great.
Thank you.
Here in Bloemfontein, volunteers are stationed at the exits of supermarkets, and customers donate their spare change upon leaving. The supermarket owner's daughter also donates her pocket money, and his father follows suit. From the streets to storefronts, volunteers also seize the opportunity to fundraise at the annual night market. Despite the rain, volunteers continue to canvass for donations with the same sincerity and humility. Regardless of the amount donated, It is the thought of giving to those in need that will be the storm victims' strongest fortitude.
Staying in South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers in Durban have once again traveled to neighboring countries of Swaziland and Mozambique to conduct home visitations. It is the volunteers' 9th visit to Swaziland this year, and they were welcomed by locals with open arms. One care recipient even provided a venue for a tea gathering. Meanwhile, in Mozambique, Lourdes, a Tzu Chi care recipient who, despite suffering from atrophy in both of her legs, followed volunteers' example and now prepares meals for orphans.
Accepting the blessings delivered through song, this youngster is no longer afraid. Swaziland has the shortest life expectancy in the world, with an average of 32 years old. As well, over 40% of the population is infected with AIDS. Living in the same destitution, Durban's local Tzu Chi volunteers can empathize, which is the reason they never feel tired despite traveling 650 kilometers to get here. This is already the volunteers' 9th visit, and the community tea gathering is held at a venue provided by Xiongwei, who once rejected Tzu Chi's care because she suffers from AIDS. Durban Tzu Chi volunteers' success in Swaziland has also inspired volunteers in neighboring Mozambique, caring for the sick and suffering. Lourdes, a Tzu Chi's care recipient, suffers from atrophy in both her legs. Yet despite her handicap, she nevertheless has followed in the volunteers' footsteps and has begun providing meals for orphans.
She's very happy. She feels like she's not losing anything. Even though she was supposed to be working, she's not losing anything, but she's here helping others, and that's most important thing.
Sharing their joy and experiences on stage, Tzu Chi's seeds of love have started to blossom in this land, and they know this blessing comes all the way from Taiwan.
This is the money from Taiwan, este o dinheiro de Taiwan, and this is the means that everyone needs to have happiness. When we are happy in our heart, they already reach.
Love can cross all boundaries and overcome any hardship. For these people in southern Africa, with love, they have found a new meaning in life.
Back to Taiwan, in Miaoli County, the manager of a construction company, Zheng Lixing, donated a house that was passed down in his family to Tzu Chi. Zheng says it was his father's last wish before he passed away from bladder cancer. The old house is now under construction and will become Tzu Chi's Holong Retreat Center when complete.
Under construction is this old house with a history of more than 100 years. Donating this house to Tzu Chi is Zheng Lixing, who says it was his father's last wish.
In 2010, my father was diagnosed with bladder cancer. My father used to tell us that if we earn money in Taipei, we should do more good deeds and help those in greater need. His biggest wish was to donate this house to Tzu Chi.
The old house will soon become the Tzu Chi retreat in Holong.
Thank you, Master. Thank you, Tzu Chi, for giving me the chance to do something for my hometown. I hope this Tzu Chi retreat center can encourage more people to walk the Tzu Chi path.
With a heart of gratitude, Zheng Lixing says he wants to return the mirror to his father. Afraid the construction might inconvenience his neighbors, Zheng visits them door to door with apologies and blessings from the Master.
The Master asks us to bring some gifts for all of you to express her thanks.
Now with Tzu Chi retreat in Holong under construction, Zheng Lixing has fulfilled his father's wish. He hopes in the future the center can create good affinity with local residents and inspire them to join Tzu Chi.
According to the Department of Health, nurses in Taiwan usually last an average of 7.7 years before burning out and quitting their job. The key to surviving in the field of healthcare with its long hours and heavy demands is to be able to constantly find new sources of motivation and channels of positive feedback. Home nurse Chen Xiaomei is a perfect example. By seeing every one of her patients as a family member, she has found a well of constant inspiration and love that keeps her job fresh and meaningful.
Nurse Chen Xiaomei walks the narrow alleys to arrive at the house of Guo Xiong Jinghua.
你还好吗？刚才头晕了。刚头晕呐？你怎么了？你是不是太累啊？
Guo Xiong was formerly hospitalized after a stroke, so upon hearing that she is feeling dizzy, Chen immediately measures her blood pressure, checks her respiration and her catheter.
有空这个尿管要多捏一捏哦，哈，要稍微捏一下，比较不容易塞住。这个尿管因为这很麻烦。
The catheter tube that I got put in after my surgery is a lot of trouble. Sometimes the urine will pool and not flow out. When it doesn't flow out, the bag will balloon out. It is then that I will ask Nurse Chen to come and help me with the problem. She is always willing to do so as soon as possible.
In addition to vertigo, Guo Xiong also suffers from stomach problems as a result of eating at irregular times. To help, Nurse Chen brings her some packaged soup so Guo Xiong can get square meals during the day.
She's like my own grandparents. She's very close to me, and so I do my best to help her depending on her circumstances. This is one of the biggest feelings of work satisfaction that I get in my job.
On the front lines of health education and healthcare in Taiwan, Nurse Chen maintains a positive and enthusiastic attitude by seeing everyone she cares for as her own family.
Continuing in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteer Yu Boqing in Tainan has taken the master's words to heart as he reuses and recycles whatever he can at home. With skillful hands, Yu is able to give any recycled item a second lease of life.
This is recycled, but it didn't have anything to stabilize it, so the combination of these two make a perfect match for a table lamp.
Despite the strange and traditional look, the lamp is fitted with an environmentally friendly LED light. Tzu Chi volunteer Yu Boqing always recycles whatever he can.
This was torn apart, but I didn't want to throw it away, so I sewed it back together.
At Yu's house, leaking buckets can be repaired with super glue and used to store recycled water. The volunteer surprised his family when he first began saving water and electricity.
I wonder what era we live in. It was our parents' generation that did that. But my husband said the master is encouraging everyone to save water.
Today, the family has become the best advocates for environmentalism as they reuse and recycle whatever household items they can.
We haven't bought any daily necessities for many years. We use recycled items now.
While giving recycled items a second lease of life, Tzu Chi volunteer Yu Boqing is also giving selflessly to safeguard the planet.
At the end of the show, Tzu Chi volunteers in New York continue to care for Sandy survivors. The Tzu Chi Manhattan Liaison Office is serving as a Sandy Relief Center in continuing to give away cash cards to residents who missed out during earlier distributions. Thank you for watching and have a good weekend.